Hey moms, quick question. What does bedtime look like in your house tonight? Maybe you hand your kid a tablet so they calm down. Maybe the TV stays on while they fall asleep. Maybe they're scrolling through videos until their eyes close on their own. And honestly, I get it. You're exhausted. You just need them to go to sleep. But here's what no one is telling you, and I wish someone had told me sooner. Some of the most normal bedtime habits that millions of families do every single night are slowly hurting your child's brain. Not in a dramatic, scary way. Quietly, gradually, in ways you won't notice until you start seeing the results. Mood swings, trouble focusing in school, anxiety, and poor memory. Tonight, I'm breaking it all down. Simple, clear, no medical jargon, just what you need to know and what to do instead. Habit has honed, screens right before bed. Let's start with the big one. Your child is watching YouTube, playing a game, or scrolling through videos. And you think, okay, one more show and then sleep. Here's what's actually happening inside their brain. Every screen, phone, tablet, TV gives off something called blue light. Blue light is a signal, and your child's brain reads that signal as, it's still daytime, stay awake, stay alert. Their brain then slows down the release of a chemical called melatonin. Melatonin is basically your body's sleep juice. It tells every cell in your body, okay, time to shut down and rest. When blue light blocks melatonin, your child might feel tired on the outside, but their brain is still running, like a car engine that won't turn off. And here's the part that really matters. The most important brain work happens in the first few hours of deep sleep. That's when your child's brain sorts through everything they learned that day. It files memories, it repairs cells, it grows, literally grows. When that deep sleep is disrupted even by 30 or 40 minutes, that process gets cut short. Studies show that kids who use screens before bed score lower on memory tests, have shorter attention spans, and are more likely to feel anxious or irritable the next day. What to do instead? Cut screens at least 1 hour before bed. I know. It sounds hard, but it works. Replace that last hour with something calmer. A bath, reading together, drawing, or just talking about their day. Even if you can't do a full hour, 30 minutes is better than nothing. Start there. Habit #2, no bedtime routine. Let me ask you something. Do you have a bedtime routine, or do you have a bedtime times battle? If it's a battle every night, here's why. Your child's brain loves patterns. It is literally wired to predict what comes next. When your child does the same things in the same order every night, brush teeth, put on pajamas, read a book, lights out. Their brain starts preparing for sleep before they even lie down. It's like a runway for their brain to land smoothly. Without that routine, their brain stays in alert mode. It doesn't know sleep is coming, so it keeps firing, thinking, worrying, getting distracted. That's why some kids lie in bed for an hour and still can't fall asleep. And here's something most people don't know. The part of the brain responsible for emotional control, called the prefrontal cortex, is the part that grows the most during sleep. When your child doesn't get quality sleep, that part of the brain gets less growth time. That means more meltdowns, more big reactions to small things, more trouble making decisions. Sound familiar? What to do instead? Pick 3 to 5 simple steps. Do them in the same order every night. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be consistent. Within 2 to 3 weeks, most kids start getting sleepy just from going through the routine. Their brain learns the pattern and starts producing melatonin automatically. Habit #3. Letting them stay up just a little later. We've all said it. It's Friday. 1 more hour won't hurt. It's summer. Bedtime doesn't matter right now. They don't have school tomorrow. And yes, one late night probably won't ruin anything. But here's what many mums don't know. Sleep works on a schedule. Your child's brain has an internal clock called the circadian rhythm. It's not just about how much time sleep they get. It's about when times they sleep. The hours between 8 p.m. and midnight are when the most powerful brain-repairing hormones are released in children. Growth hormone, cortisol balance, immune support, all of this happens during those early sleep hours. When kids stay up late regularly, they miss that window. Even if they sleep in the next morning to make up for it, they don't get back those early night hours. That's not how the brain works. Over time, shifting bedtime even by 60 to 90 minutes a few nights a week can affect a child's mood, memory, learning, and even their immune system. What to do instead? Keep bedtime consistent even on weekends, within 30 minutes of the same time every night. If you want to give a little wiggle room on weekends, that's fine, but try to keep it to no more than 30 minutes later than their normal bedtime. Habit #4. Big conversations or arguments before bed. Moms, this one is huge and almost no one talks about it. How many times have you waited until bedtime to have a tough conversation with your child? To talk about a bad grade, a problem at school, something they did wrong? I understand why. It's the first quiet moment of the day. You finally have their attention. But here's the problem. When your child hears something stressful, even a normal correction, their brain releases a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is your body's stress chemical. It's helpful in dangerous situations. But at bedtime, it's the enemy of sleep. Cortisol signals the brain to stay alert, to think, to replay the conversation over and over. Some children lie in bed for hours after an upsetting bedtime talk, not because they're being difficult, but because their brain literally cannot shut off the stress response. And here's the deeper issue. When children fall asleep under emotional stress, their brains spend more time in light sleep and less time in deep sleep. That means less memory processing, less emotional recovery, less brain growth. What to do instead? Save tough conversations for earlier in the day, after school, at dinner, during a calm afternoon moment. Bedtime should feel safe and peaceful. End the night with warmth. Tell them something good. Ask them what made them smile today. Let their last thoughts before sleep be calm ones. Habit #5. Skipping the dark. This one surprises a lot of moms. Many kids sleep with a light on, a hallway light, a bright night light, even a TV on in the background just for noise. Here's why that matters more than you think. Your child's brain produces melatonin, that sleep chemical we talked about, in response to darkness. Not just a little darkness, real dim darkness. Even small amounts of light, like a bright night light next to the bed, can slow down melatonin production enough to delay deep sleep by 20 to 30 minutes. Over weeks and months, that adds up to a significant loss of deep sleep time. And deep sleep is when the brain does its most important work. What to do instead? Use dim, warm-colored night lights if your child is afraid of the dark. Warm, orange or red tones don't disrupt melatonin the way cool white or blue lights do. Keep screens out of the room entirely. Even a phone sitting on the nightstand with notifications lighting up can disturb sleep cycles even when your child looks like they're asleep. Letting them eat too late. Here's one that catches almost every mum off guard. Your child had a busy evening. Maybe dinner ran late. Maybe they grabbed a snack right before bed, crackers, a bowl of cereal, some fruit. No big deal, right? Actually, it matters more than you think. When your child eats close to bedtime, their body has to go to work. Digesting food takes real energy. It raises their body temperature. It keeps their heart rate up. And it sends signals to the brain that say, stay active. We're working right now. But here's the thing for your child to fall into deep sleep. Their body temperature actually needs to drop slightly. That drop is one of the signals that tells the brain, okay, we're shutting down now. When digestion is happening, that temperature drop gets delayed, and so does deep sleep. There's also something called insulin, a hormone your body releases after eating, especially after sugary or starchy foods. When insulin spikes at night, it can cause blood sugar to rise and then drop sharply a few hours later. That drop can actually wake your child up in the middle of the night or cause restless, broken sleep without either of you knowing why. This is why some kids seem to sleep through the night but still wake up groggy and cranky. Their sleep was broken on the inside, even if they didn't fully wake up. What to do instead? Try to finish dinner at least 2 hours before bed. If your child is genuinely hungry close to bedtime, keep the snacks small and simple. A few crackers, a small piece of cheese, or a banana. Avoid anything sugary, heavy, or processed in that last hour before sleep. Small change, real difference. Not letting them win down on their own. This one is about something we do with the best intentions and it quietly backfires. A lot of moms stay right next to their child until they fall asleep, lying next to them, rubbing their back, sitting on the edge of the bed. And look, connection at bedtime is beautiful. That's not the problem. The problem is when a child never learns how to calm their own brain down. Here's what's happening inside their head. Falling asleep is actually an active skill. Your brain has to slow its own thoughts down. It has to move from alert mode into rest mode. That transition is something the brain learns, and it gets better at it with practice. When a parent is always there doing the calming, the rubbing, the shushing, the singing, the child's brain never has to practice doing it on its own. Over time, that child starts to depend on an outside signal to fall asleep. So when they wake up naturally in the middle of the night, which every person does, multiple times, they can't get back to sleep without that signal. They call for you, they get up, they cry. It's not bad behavior. Their brain just never learned the skill of self-settling. And here's why this connects to brain development. Children who learn to self-settle tend to have better emotional regulation during the day too. The same mental skill that helps a child calm the brain at night, slowing thoughts, managing anxiety, choosing calm over panic, is the same skill they use when they're frustrated at school or when something doesn't go their way. Sleep is actually practice for emotional control. What to do instead? You don't have to disappear cold. Start by staying a little less each night. Sit on the bed, then sit in a chair across the room, then just outside the door. Give them something to hold, a soft toy, a blanket they love. Teach them a simple breathing exercise. Breathe in for 4 counts, out for 4 counts. Tell them, your brain knows how to do this. I'm right here. You've got this. Give them the chance to learn. They will surprise you.